Hi guys, I'm going to show you how to create a fork in Blender. So the first thing we see in Blender is this cube. We can select things by right clicking, and we don't need this cube, so we press X to delete it. Now we want to load an image as a reference. So first we look for reference image. Go to graphics, and this one is good. So I save it. I already saved it. So now I need to choose background images from this panel. If you don't see it, then press N. Choose background images, add image, and open, and look for the image. Right, and to see it, we need to go out of perspective mode. So press 5 on numpad and go to tab view. So press 7 on numpad, and I want to rotate it so the fork will be in vertical position and centered. So I rotate it 90 degrees, and I move it in X. To move it precisely, I hold Shift and drag, and 0.6 should be fine. And now I want to create a plane, and then extrude it and create the right side of this fork, and I want to use mirror modifier so it will create the left side for me. So first I need a plane. I want 3D cursor to be in the center, so I press Shift C, I press Shift A, mesh, plane, and I want to go into edit mode. Right now I'm in object mode, so I right click to select the plane, press tab to enter edit mode, and right now I want only right half of this plane, so I press 7 to go into top view. I press Ctrl R and left click and right click to leave it in the center. Now I choose vertex select mode by pressing Ctrl Tab, and I select this one, right click, hold Shift, right click, press X to delete vertices, and now I can turn this modifier on. So I go here, add modifier, mirror, and there you go. We have it on, and now I need to turn on the clipping, so these points in the middle will stick to the y-axis. Like this. Now I go into edge mode, I select this edge, press E to extrude, move it, left click, E, now I go to the top, select this edge, press E, I want to extrude it in straight line, so I press Y. Now I want to add edge here, so it will have a better topology. So I press Ctrl R, and here I want this edge, I want this part to go like this, so I select this edge and extrude it, and then I go to vertex mode, select this one, then while holding shift I right click on this one, press Alt M, merge at last, and there you go. And here I want to adjust these points a little bit, like this. Right. Now I want to add thickness to it, so I add modifier solidify, change thickness, something like this should be fine. Okay, now I want to apply this modifier, so I need to exit edit mode by pressing tab, and I click apply. Now if I press tab again, go into edit mode, there's a problem I don't see right now. If I turn off mirror for a second, I can see that it created faces here in the center, and I don't want them, so I go into face select mode, I select first face here, and while holding control I select the last one, and everything between selects to, and I press X to delete these faces. And now if I go back to mirror, well, now I'm going to add a subdivision modifier, subdivision surface modifier, so it's round around the edge. Well, it's a little bit, it's not so smooth, so we need to increase this number, and we want to turn on smooth, so first we need to exit edit mode, and here in this panel, if you don't see it, then you have to press T, the shading, you turn on smooth, and it's smooth now. If you want it to look shiny, then in this panel you select matte cap, and here you can select this one, and it looks pretty. Alright, now you go to edit mode, tab, and we want to divide these face a few times, so next we will be able to extrude faces. So first I want to divide it into 3 faces. So I press Ctrl Tab, select edge, right click, and then Shift right click, press W, select subdivide, and increase number of cuts. Now go to face select mode, holding Shift right click to select this one, 2, press E to extrude. Now I want to divide each of these faces. So I press Ctrl Tab, edge, right click, Shift, I hold Shift and right click, and now press W, subdivide, and there you go. Press Ctrl Tab, select faces, hold Shift. No, actually I don't need this. I can press A to unselect, and right click on this one and holding Shift this one. I skip these 2 and I select these 2. So now I can extrude them. Right, and let's look into top view. Okay, I'm a little bit too low, so I can actually move these faces to increase the selection. I press Ctrl and plus on numpad, right, and I can press it one more time, and I'll go to top view and move it in place like this. I want to move these edges a little bit to the back, so I select the edges, this one and this one, and move them a little bit back, right? Now I don't want these spaces to be so big, so I select these faces here and these faces here, and I'm going to scale them, but I want to make sure that I have individual origins selected here. So when I scale, each group of faces is scaled individually, and now I want to limit the scale only to x-axis, so I press X, and now that's what I want. Okay, something like this. I can move this edge a little bit to the right. Okay, now I'm going to extrude these faces. So I select them, I go to top view and press E to extrude, right? And I want to scale down the tips, so I press S, and again I want to make sure that pivot points are individual, so now I scale it down like this, and maybe scale it in X too, right? And I press A to unselect, Now I need to add more geometry here, so I go to edge select mode and I will unselect limit selection to visible. So now I can select things that are behind, and now I press B to go into box selection mode, and I left click, hold, and select all these edges, and I press W, subdivide 3 times, and hit A to unselect. Now it looks okay, but I don't want this side of the fork to be so round, so I will add a loop cut. I press Ctrl R and left click and right click, and there we go. And I'll add a loop cut here, Ctrl R, right click. Okay, now before I bend this fork, I want to make this handle a little bit thicker, so I go into face mode, I select these two, move them up, maybe this one too, this one, right. We can move each edge individually. Yeah, this should be okay. So now I can bend. I'll check my reference. Yeah, okay. Or maybe it's too thin, so we can select these faces. And scale in X a little bit. Right. So now I want to bend it. And to bend, I will use curve modifier. First I leave edit mode. Now I want to add a curve in the center, so I press Shift C to center my 3D cursor. I press Shift A to add a curve. I choose NURBS curve, and now if I apply it, then it will be a mess. I want to show you. So I will add modifier, curve, and select object, NURBS curve, and you can see no, that's not good. However, if we rotate this curve, then we'll get result we want. So we need to rotate this in X 90 degrees and in Z 270 degrees, and now it works just fine. So of course we need to change the shape of this curve, So we go into right view, and by pressing 3 on numpad, and here we see the image that we were using for top view. So we have to change it from all views to top view, and we need to add image right and select the same image. Now we need to flip this image horizontally, and now we can edit this curve. So with curve selected, we press tab to edit, and here we need to check endpoint and check bounce clamp, and now we can move these points to edit the shape. Of course, 4 points are not enough, so we need to add more. We hold Control and left click to add more points. Like this. And now I will adjust the shape by moving these points. Like so. Right, so now you press tab to exit edit mode, and there you go, a fork. We can name it here just by selecting it here, double click, fork. And now we can save it. File, save as, and type fork, save as Blender file. There you go. Thanks for watching.